Hello and welcome. My name is Sanjay Soni. Here is a micro-learning readiness video about Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Now, let's get started. Hi, Kavitha. How are you doing today?
Great, Sanjay. Thanks. I'm doing great.
Awesome. So what do you do at Microsoft?
Sanjay, I'm a principal program manager working for Azure SQL Data Warehouse. Been on the team for quite some time. At Microsoft for quite some time, on the team for 2 years.
Awesome. So let's get started. So I'm hearing a buzz around new announcements on row-level security. Can you please tell us more?
Oh yeah, I'm really excited. So today what I'll be showing you or talking about is the access control mechanisms and also network security. As part of the access control, what we offer today are a set of authorization aspects, which is one, how do you ensure you restrict access of certain users to sensitive data so that you are following the compliance regulations? And also, how do you ensure your users have access to only relevant data? So these are the two topics that I will be covering as part of the access control. So Sanjay, as part of the column level security, what we offer today is the ability for you to restrict access of the users to certain columns in the table. This could be done easily using the grant statement. I would like to skip over to the row-level security in the interest of time. There is a lot of buzz on this, as you have already heard, because this is a dear and near feature for a lot of customers. We get that in the pre-sales conversations. We always used to get during regular customer connection.
I see.
Discussions. So row-level security offers you a fine-grained access control over the rows of your table. You can restrict which users can access what rows of a table. So the way you do this is using a security policy that you can define with a set of predicate, the filter predicate, that would actually determine which rows the users can actually access. So this is very important for customers because now you have this centralized security logic sitting directly native in your database engine, right? As opposed to there is no more creating views and accessing or granting permissions on these views to the users or roles.
I used to do that for the longest time with SQL Server.
That's true. And there is no logic now that sits in your application. So this really is something that customers have been asking for a long time.
Awesome. So can we see all this in action using a live demo?
Absolutely. Sanjay, what I have here is SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. I have connected to the data warehouse instance in order for me to demonstrate the row-level security capability. So in the interest of time, I already created 3 users, Manager, Sales 1 and Sales 2 with logins. And I have also created the table Sales. And it's very simple for the sake of the demo. And I have also inserted few rows. And my motivation here is, my objective here is, I want Sales 1 to only see Sales 1 related rows. And I want the user Sales 2 to actually see only the Sales 2 related rows.
I see. So you have basically 2 sales representatives, Sales 1, Sales 2, and a sales manager.
Exactly, exactly. What I have here is a security policy defined with a filter predicate. And the filter predicate actually is telling that as long as its manager show everything, right, written true, and if it is Sales 1, then if that row has Sales 1 user information, then go and show that row as well. So in essence, Sales 1 would be able to, user Sales 1 would be able to see all the records that are permitted for him or her, and
so forth.
And so forth.
Okay.
So Sanjay, let's test this out. I will log in as a manager. Okay, so while this is getting connected, what I'm expecting is the manager to be able to see all the rows.
For all regions, for all employees.
Right. Okay, so let's query. Okay, Keep your fingers crossed.
Yes, let's see.
Okay, there you go. So you have right now a manager logged in, and the manager can see the sales information across all the products.
Awesome.
Sanjay, when I log in as sales 2, I should be able to now only see sales 2 related records. So here I have a sales 2 connection, and let's see. So I can only see the sales 2 related records.
That's awesome. Thank you for
Cool.
this demo.
Thank you.
So now my next question is, are there any performance implications of this row-level security RLS?
Oh, that's a great question. So the RLS does not impact any performance for the customers.
Okay.
So we already have tested in-house. As soon as you know, the distributed architecture is in such a way that the execution plan is distributed to the compute nodes. So this particular filter predicate is applied even before it's distributed to the compute nodes.
I see.
So there is no performance implication
That's
for
good
this.
to know. Thanks a lot for the demo. Can you please talk about the network security as well?
The Azure networking concept is a topic in itself. It takes an hour to drill down. So we can bring in Azure networking and us at some point, and we can do a session for that. But I'm assuming at this point in time that the audiences already know what the virtual network concept is that the Azure cloud offers today. There are certain services that can be injectable today, including the HD Insight, and SQL managed instance. However, the services like Azure Blob, Azure SQL Database, and Azure SQL Data Warehouse cannot be injected because of their high availability and scalability aspects of it. So what we have as an offering is a service endpoint on top of SQL DB and SQL Data Warehouse today. Once you specify the VNet service endpoints on a virtual network, what happens under the covers is we extend the VNet identity to the service, right? And any access that goes to the service now will be checked whether this connection is coming from a VNet, and only when the VNet connection comes into play, the access is granted. So that's how you can basically secure your data assets to the virtual network.
That was great information. Can we see a live demo, please?
Absolutely. So what I have here is my own VNet, the virtual network that I have created. And I have specified service endpoints for both SQL and storage because I want to import and export via Polybase into the storage, right? And I want both of them, both SQL Azure Data Warehouse and the Azure storage account, to be secured to the VNet. So let's actually go and check out what my setup is. In the best interest of time, I have already set up my both the data warehouse and the storage affinitized or secured to the VNet. Okay, so here is my logical server where I have associated this with my own VNet. So you can see here, right? And going back to the storage account, what I have done here is I have also specified that this is secured to my VNet, which I have created. And I also have gone to the IAM, which is the Identity Access Management, access control blade, and I have specified that this particular logical instance is having the right permissions. So for example, KJ, it's loading up, has, as you can see, my logical server also has the blob data contributor permissions. So with that, the setup is there. So to recap, you have SQL Azure Data Warehouse, SQL storage, both secure to a virtual network. And my demo is to ensure that I'm able to query through external tables created via Polybase through a VM that I have spun up in the context of the virtual network. So Sanjay, so now what I have done is I have logged into the VM that's spun up in the virtual network, and I'm trying to query out of the external table that I already have created. So let's see if I can execute this correctly and successfully. So what's happening at this point in time under the covers is SQL Data Warehouse instance that's secured to the VNet has identified that this particular VM is okay to have access on, and under the covers, it goes and gets the data from the storage that's secured to the same VNet, and it shows us the results, and there you go. Awesome. So this is big, guys, and this is something that customers have been asking for quite some time, and we have had in the public preview, and now we are going to be GAing this. So the GA solution is more secured than what we have in the public preview, and the restriction of both the storage and the data warehouse instance to be under the same umbrella of the subscription would also go away with the GA. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all this great information about security of Azure SQL Data Warehouse today. And thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity for me. Thanks, Sanjay.
Thank you for watching this video. Learn more about this and other topics at azure.com/SQLDW.